I would just talk. I would just say whatever I want to say without thinking too much. And I took my ride on my motorcycle, on my three-wheeler orthopedic, and managed to stay mostly out of the rain. Everybody in this planet, their true identities are got a subconscious. Babies are babies till they get a subconscious. When they get a subconscious, now they have somebody to talk to, which is supposedly themselves, but we know it isn't. And this is where nature comes in, and not religion. Nature. This is what got us in trouble. This is what got us in trouble with Trump, with this whole world right now. Because you've got people that are thinking, for some reason, religion is above nature. It's not. Religion is part of nature. It's one of nature's subsets. Every religion there is part of nature's subsets. It's a planet. A bunch of stuff exists naturally. It's rock and trees and streams and people. And every religion exists on this planet. It's part of nature. It's part of the planet. It's part of the natural course of things, natural flow. But that's just it. There's a flow, and nature will keep us moving, keep us going. It's not. People tend to use the forces in nature. They kind of hijack them for their own belief systems. The forces that push us to do what we do and be who we are, those forces are neutral, and they'll go whichever way we're feeling. Now, if when police officers go too far, it was nature, it was their nature, and then overall nature fed into their brain, exactly through their subconscious, kind of sneaking in under the radar, an intelligence in nature itself, not related to any kind of religion. I can't fully describe it because it's beyond my comprehension completely, of course, but it's not beyond my ability to understand it's there. There's a force there that literally puts the words in our mouths as we speak. We are one with nature as we are on this planet. Our subconscious is the tie. The subconscious is the string. It's the connection that we have with nature. As far as inside, as far as our thinking and what we do. People that are willing to turn a blind eye and not listen, just believe with some sort of faith, they're more assisting in the destruction of any possibility of progress on this planet. And that's what's happened. Every other group there was did not, in majority, did not vote for Trump. The only group that voted for Trump in majority, the only thing that got him elected, was evangelicals, Christians, in particular, evangelical Christians, other religious people. That's how Trump got elected, by the religious people, because they wanted their useful idiot. That's what Russia calls Trump. That's what they've been. Lost the ability to borrow money from any American bank long ago. Listen to his son, Donald, in interviews from years ago, saying, "Oh no, we can't get no bank will lend to us, except Deutsche Bank from Russia. That bank will lend to us. Anything we want, that bank will give us." Why? And they see Trump back then, a long time ago, when he was defaulting on all the loans that he would take from American banks and not pay them back. He's obviously a bad man. He's not a good person. But the evangelicals are Christian, and they forgive, and you can be horrible because we all are, we're human, and whatever teachings are teaching them, It's a ways to an end. So they're willing to use the useful idiot too. So they say, oh, yeah, well, he might not be a good man. And if they were really honest with themselves in their own religious belief, they believe he's going to hell. They know he's going to hell, because anybody that doesn't believe in the God that they think is real has to go to hell. If you don't believe in my God, then I'm sending you to hell. I'm telling you that my God's going to send you to hell if you don't believe in my God. That's how it works. That's the system they believe in. It's seeing a bigger picture. Now, my picture includes religion. It includes his religion. It includes all religions. All religions exist in nature. They're all on this planet. We can't realize that nature is at work here. It's not a religion that's at work. It's nature, and the religion is kind of piggybacking on what nature's doing. If it's nature itself that creates the communication, it's not an intelligence that coexists with the rock that is the earth, with the trees and the grass and everything else. But that intelligence, you don't have to label it in a religious way, because that's talking about abortion. And the soul of it's a human growth. It is human. A baby before it's born, it's a human growth inside of. We'll talk about exactly how the system really works, rather than dwell on the righteousness of. I mean, it's so obvious. The planet cannot continue to populate. We can't continue to double our population every few years. You can't do that on a planet in space that's floating around with finite resources. You can't keep populating it with people. It can't. Therefore, nature itself will take care of the issue by running out of food or water or flooding or anything else, or the thoughts that go into people's heads. Suicide bombers, they didn't exist years ago because our planet wasn't overpopulated years ago. The only reason they exist in multitudes now is because nature is allowing the thinking to go on. They're because it's part of the global consciousness we're all feeding into the air. And here's the coming from outside, folks. It's not inside us. So who's keeping the memory? How's our memory held? And don't get into religion with me. Let's keep religion out of it. Let's just keep that out of it. Can't we? Is it impossible? I mean, let's just talk about the facts. Let's just talk about how it is. It's a planet floating through space. It has its own rules. The planet itself. Nature, physics, I guess, but nature has its own rules. A cold front and a warm front come together, you get a storm, whatever. Everything is according to nature, is according to the natural laws in nature. We don't nature rules. Nature always has. And it will. It's like George Carlin used to say, it's been around, the earth, the planet's been around here a long time before we were on it, and it'll be around here a long time after we're gone. We're just sitting on this planet for a short while we can. The universe, Einstein saying he believed that time loops back around, and I think that there's a distinct kind of possibility of that, because sense that even something that might go on forever, maybe it's even that's on a timeline. I don't know why. It just feels comfortable for me to believe, yeah, I think it might loop around, because I swear, and I know I'm not the only one, because they made a word for it. It's called deja vu. And whenever they make a word like metaphysical, I've had a lot of metaphysical stuff happen in my life. A lot. I don't believe you. That's totally your prerogative. But it doesn't mean it didn't happen to me. And I know what happened to me, and with me, and around me, and I'm an observer, just like I was when I was a baby up until 5.5 years old. That's our true selves. Our true selves are 5.5, 6 years old. That's when we developed a subconscious. When we developed the subconscious, we developed a dialogue with nature. There's many brains. And the reason, another thing that points to this is we can think of any other mind and connect with it and think and feel it, to expressing ourselves as truly us is when we're accessing prior to our planning day, prior to the outline that gave us the rest of our lives, prior to our subconscious, when we were babies, when all we did was observe and report, and that into the ether. All of that's been recorded. In our subconscious, we remember every single thing that we saw and did and acted, reacted, every single thing that we witnessed when we were babies. Our subconscious remembers. It remembers it all. That buildup is what we come into the planning day with. Everything that come up with an outline, kind of, and then we go on and to live our lives. And now we have somebody we're living with, and keeping religion out of it. We're talking to the earth and the sky and the leaves and the trees. We're talking to nature, the plants and the animals, all the time through our subconscious, where we're not aware of it. That's going into an ether of sorts, I call a global consciousness. Some, I've heard talk of an aura, and some people say they can see an aura. Makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that there's a force around us that would be, a lot of times people refer to it as their personal space. You can feel it when somebody's in your personal space, can't you? That's your aura, that's your atmosphere, your own atmosphere around you, that's nature. Doesn't it make sense that maybe all the words you use, mostly all the memories you're using currently, everything that you're currently up to, that you're doing, kind of stays close by in your aura? You've got all the words and all the memories that you need to draw on quickly to get stuff done in your job and whatever. And if somebody asks you something from a childhood memory or something that's not one of your current, duties as a person, as you're living your life, then you might have to pause for a while and think and draw outside your aura, where all the handy stuff is, and reach out there a little further. But what that's proving is there's brains, there's intelligences that we can connect to all over. Every planet, every person on Earth, we have the ability to connect to. It's in our makeup. It's how we think. We actually use all these other people's feelings and thoughts that we've picked up through the years and incorporated into ourselves. We use all of that of our experiences to be ourselves. Singers, we have the ability to draw on others, from others, and that's what we're doing. 5.5, 6 years old, where we gain a subconscious. It's primarily about that, about the fact that at a certain age we gain a subconscious. That subconscious is connected directly with nature, with an intelligence that comes from nature. That's just it's just there, and this is something doing what we feel, and nature fills in what we do from what we're feeling, and what we do and what we say. But we still have all our experiences that we've had since 5.5. That's all in our subconscious too, and we can remember all of that. Plus, we can remember it has the ability to remember everything that ever happened, all the way back to birth. But only nature has that intelligence that seems to live in the fourth dimension, that seems to live without the bounds of time. So they can plan, they can see every single outline, every single timeline, because instantly. Every timeline is visible to someone that lives in the fourth dimension. And being that there's many, many minds in the fourth dimension, many of them. I think that they are conceivably, what do we call it, a symbiotic relationship. I don't think they exist without us. I think they need human beings on Earth in order for them to exist. They're not aliens. They're not from outer space. They're not gods. They're not zoot of nature. I come by it honestly. When there was hardly anybody on the planet, it made sense to have every baby you could have. It doesn't make sense anymore when the planet's overpopulated and you can't feed all the people that are on it now. So what are you going to do? Bring every baby into the world, no matter how how the lady got impregnated, how the girl got impregnated, doesn't matter. Bring it in. Default should be the woman has the choice 100%. And planned pregnancies are certainly going to be the best, and unplanned are going to be a challenge, but can be handled. But it should always be up to the young lady or the woman, always. And there should be no pressure, none, to pressure someone into having a baby if they don't think they should. That's nature talking to them. Their nature, that's the nature. That's the world, that's the earth, that's the planet, and if you want to get religious about it, that's God telling that individual that has that baby that that baby shouldn't be born. God is telling that person that. And you're going to say, my God says different, even though you're not in that person's shoes at all. My God says you have to have that baby. Why? Because it's a growth, it's a human growth. It hasn't even been born yet. It's not a force of nature until it's born. As soon as that baby's born, that baby is a force of nature. It's one with nature, it's part of nature. That's much more important than when it's not. It's a growth inside of a human being. It's a human growth inside of a human being. So, it's not born. It's not a force of nature. What's the big tragedy is letting something become a force of nature, letting it have a say in this world, because as soon as it's born, it's having a say in that ether. It's sending it out there. And then taking it away, which has to happen if you overpopulate. You have to have wars. You have to have dictators that willingly will wipe you out. You have to have bad people with bad ideas that nature is willing to feed them in that direction. Nature doesn't take sides. It's going to go with however it needs to go to push it along. Time is ticking. Everything is moving. We're always in motion. Nature just makes sure we keep moving. That's all nature does. But we just stop moving in the wrong direction and start figuring this out. Until we do, there's going to be all this kind of problems. Wars, there'll be, the planet will not be inhabitable after a certain period of time. So we as a species, as human beings, cannot stay on this planet forever, and will not. Nature will see to that. And there's no deity, no religion seeing to that. It's nature seeing to that. Be editing a little bit so I can keep it under around 30 minutes. And in current times, the default should be the other way around. Instead of having, we talking freely, nature's just filling in the way I'm feeling, and they're giving me the words. I'm given the words by an intelligence that exists outside my own. But when I pause, I'm accessing my own. I'm accessing the way the 5.5 or younger, really, feels. Kirk, and then the other one is Floyd, George Floyd me. Kirk, the guy, I forget it. By the way, he was not that good a guy. People, come on. You religious fanatics, what's up? What about all those school shootings? Where do you think they're coming from? It's in the atmosphere, people. And how's the atmosphere? Where's the atmosphere built? How do we build the atmosphere? There's a global consciousness, people. Everything that we're thinking, everything is out there and surrounding us. And it's the big aura around the planet. As we all have our auras around us, there's a big aura around the planet. Everybody feels that, whether they can admit it or not. Most older brother is a devout Christian. Absolute. The Bible tells him that's the facts. Wonderful guy. Can't brother. Complete atheist. Scientific all the way. Atheist. Maybe it's still a good idea to accept. Nature might still be able to talk to us. That nature has a consciousness that we can tap into. And it's not, and we don't have to call it a deity. We don't have to call it anything other than what it is, which is an intelligence that lives in nature. That's a natural part of things. It's a natural part to do on this YouTube, other than get girls, is to express myself freely from what I understand to be the case, and be able to speak honestly and without so much hesitation, so that I am with nature, that we're both speaking together. So I'm not supposed to know that we had a planning day at around 5.5, 6 years old. Supposed to be connected with nature through our subconscious. Nature is pushing us along to do whatever it is we feel we need to do. With their help, they were involved in the planning, so they helped us plan it. A sphere is being created right now with this overpopulated planet, with all this warlike stuff going on. I mean, nature doesn't care. Nature will push somebody's mind into the direction of a catastrophic event, of a war, of a larger nature. It'll just, if that's the direction, that's the direction. Until we can figure out how to keep the planet's population down without involving dictators or horrible temptation, to just be, give me everything I want. I don't care about any of my subjects. All I know is I want whatever I want. And that's a king, looking out only for himself and not caring anything about anybody else. Where, in other words, some kings, like I say, I know we're good kings. That's because the subconscious, they're just going along with whatever they're supposed to do. In their head, that's what they think they're supposed to do. Some police, I started to talk about that earlier, they think that they are supposed to kill George Floyd. That's what that police officer, he thought in his nature was to put his knee on that guy's neck till he killed him. That was his nature. And nature didn't fight him on it. Nature said, go ahead, put your knee on him and kill him. Poor George, very first words he said when that cop came up to his car, he's sitting in his car and he says, I don't want to die today. I wonder who told him that was going to happen. And let's not get into religion. It's a subset. You can if you want, but I'm telling you, you're missing the big picture. And if you keep electing people just because that person, even though that person's obviously not a good person, just because that person would put somebody in the Supreme Court that would make people have to have babies, that's why you elected him. That's why you voted for him. So people would have to have babies against their will. That's it. So people would have to have babies against their will. That's why you religious people voted him in. Now what have you got? Why? He's a useful idiot, right? Russia saw him as a useful, that's what they call agents, people that they're developing, that are unaware they're being developed. They just said, that Deutsche Bank will give us any money we want to do anything we want. Yeah, know they're being developed. They just know that the Russia keeps them close, so that they can pull the strings if they need to. They're useful idiots. And now you got religious people willing to use the same tactic. That he's a useful idiot, so we'll use him, even though he's an idiot. We'll use that useful idiot to overturn that horrible rule that allows women to decide what to do with their own bodies. We'll eliminate that rule, and we'll make them have babies again. Woohoo! We're making America great again. Are you guys stupid or what? And I hate that I use that word. I hate that I say that, but I say it to myself all the time. I'm always calling myself stupid. So I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean wake up. Wake up and see what side of the train you're on, or something. Because we can't be continuing to tell nature to go ahead and behind these people, because they have one or two things that I believe in. So let's power them. Let's get smarter than that, people. I don't care if you're super religious and watching this. Keep your super religion. That's fine. If it makes you happy and if you're a good person, I'm not going to tell you not. I'm just saying add to it the fact that nature exists for real. And nature, I hate to burst your bubble, is the end, is the big sayer in this. This. All right, now I'm getting in trouble. I have to be careful. Look at that, I knocked that. Nature actually had me bring my hand, while I'm making motions. Now, your religious people are going to say, God made me tip this over. Nature. That's the way I see it. So anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about what I see and how I believe. But I want to be able to talk freely and without so much hesitation, and not be thinking about everything I'm saying, and which is what I do when I try to get girls or whatever. I'm trying to, I don't know what, think of something brilliant to say. Back in the day when I was willing to spend hours and hours writing to bring someone into my life, maybe that was, I could think about what to say and write it, but not anymore. Now everything's moving much quicker. All right, I'm hoping that if I keep saying what I'm saying, if I keep seeing things the way I see them, and then reporting what I'm seeing, honestly, as honest as I can be, I think it makes a difference. I think if enough people, we have to figure out how to control our population, the planet's population. When we finally figure out how to control the planet's population without cruelty involved, I think then we've figured out how to exist as a species in relative peace for a really long time. All right. Anybody that can hear me and can understand to any depth, maybe you, if you do, if you half understand what I'm saying, then you're exceptional already in my mind. I'll keep putting out videos with what I want to talk about until someone actually interviews me and finally get the answer to your questions if you ask me. But